Is the birthday buff Bonanza event a predatory event? I've seen this take on Reddit pages, comment sections, and social medias alike, and it kind of baffles me. Everything in Runescape I feel like gets called a predatory event at this point, and I would low-key want to make a video at some point explaining predatory, FOMO, and whatever, because I feel like some of the terms are aggressively misused within Runescape, but in gaming in general, to be honest. But short answer, no, I don't think it is. I think it is actually a very good thing, and it might actually be some sort of tester for leaks or just to gather data in general. I think that is the main thing why it's there, but also it's there to have retention and login numbers up. Like, I can sit here and pretend that's not the case, but every single game wants you to log in as much as possible, whether that's daily, weekly, whatever, but preferably daily, and stay on for a certain amount of time. And this event, if you really look at it from a more, isolated, negative type point of view, they want you to log in and play for 2 hours during the buff. So you have a retention of 2 hours for, I think the event is like 14 days or something. So they have you playing for 14 days for 2 hours a week. That's 28 hours of gameplay. That's one way to look at it. And of course, it's probably a part of it because, as I said, that is something that a gaming company wants, right? They want you to log in. They want you to stay on the game for as long as possible. And it's very standard across all games because I sometimes feel, and I think a part of it is because RuneScape players just play RuneScape, that they're like, oh yeah, RuneScape is very, bad for doing this. But dude, every single game does it. And with more and more games being available to people where, 10, 15 years ago, you had way less games to be able to play, so it was way less important for those games for you to log in and keep you there because, quite frankly, they knew you were going to be there. Where now there's so many games, like, let's say if RuneScape didn't give you an incentive to log in, another game that you might be playing does, so you will play that game over RuneScape, so RuneScape kind of have to follow suit. So what is this event really about? Because I feel like that is just a very short-sighted way of looking at it. It's just for retention and login numbers, and it's a predatory thing because of it. I think it is mainly for fun. Like, I genuinely think so, because these buffs are fun. And I feel like there's a buff for everyone who plays the game in their own way. Obviously, it's split up between PVM, skilling, and miscellaneous. And, with certain buffs coming back, especially the more powerful ones coming back, it also shows them thinking of people that have different playstyles where, once you might pick the combat one and next time you want to pick the non-combat one, the skilling one or the miscellaneous one. And I think that's a very, very good thing. And one thing that I do find very funny about the buffs, if you just look at them in like a vacuum compared to the Hero Pass buffs, these are way more powerful than the Hero Pass ones in certain cases, especially the one that doubles your loot for 5% chance for like 2 hours straight. Of course, it's just for 2 hours. Hero Pass had paid. Hero Pass was linked to MTX. I get it. But if you take that all away, I think some of these buffs are more powerful than the Hero Pass ones. Maybe bar the clue scrolling one, where you would get a step less, and the Zamorak one, I guess. But besides that, all the other buffs, this one is way, way better. But hey, that's not the discussion we're having here. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because I did think it was funny. But I generally think that the main reason, as I said, is just for a little bit of fun, because fun is important in this video game, and actually to celebrate RuneScape's birthday, a little event where, you get a little bit of buffs, and yeah, sure, there's a side effect of retention and login numbers, but I also think that's a bit of a thing to maybe gather some data on a possible future leaks or just data in general. But what do I mean by that? Well, take the more healing one, for example. Does that actually make people go to bosses more? Like, does it increase people going bossing? And if so, at what percentage? And maybe they can see if that person normally bosses or what kind of bosses they do, etc. Like, I'm not sure the extent of data they can see. I'm assuming they can pretty much see any sort of data they want to because, well, they have the data on all their accounts. So maybe they need to introduce a higher healing food so people will go to bosses more. Maybe with some, drawback, or, it's hard to obtain, so it's very expensive, whatever it might be, right? That could be a thing that they are looking into. does better healing mean more bossing? Or another thing is, you know, there's certain ones that give you more skilling rewards, like the output of the necromancy stuff that you get from the rituals. Does that mean that, you know, it crashes it will obviously bring down the prices for just a little bit, because there's more volume coming into the game than there's maybe demand. So of course the prices will go down, but what will that do to the RuneScape economy? Is that a good thing? Are the prices that they are currently going to, is that where Jagex likes to see them sit? Because they usually have an idea of where they want items to be. Look at the update to Dino Airs, for example. Sure, they did an improvement for Iron Man, but they've also made a statement that they don't want to change the game for Iron Man. So I'm assuming that the main reason and the main motivation for the increase in Dino Arrow production is to get the prices down of the arrows, which happened, so that more people can use this and it's more accessible. So that makes me believe that Jagex does have an idea of where they want certain items to sit. So maybe an event like this, where certain days there's higher volumes of items coming in, like skilling supplies or necromancy supplies, the prices will go down, because that is simply just what happens when more things come into the game. Does that mean that they might have to increase the base output, or is it too much? Like, there's a lot of data to gather from events like these, and I think it's very interesting. I wish they did data streams, and I've asked them, and there wasn't really a positive response about it. It wasn't like that they're against it or in favor of it, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, we should do it. Because one of my favorite things on the old school channel, what they used to do was Modmat K used to do these data streams saying, oh yeah, today so much money came into the game, or people were doing this activity more in this month and that had an effect on these items, etc. And I just thought it was really interesting, but that might just be me being a nerd, right? But I think that the main thing for this event is them just gathering data, and obviously, most importantly, for us to have fun, because that is something we sometimes forget to do, and we're so hypercritical on, oh yeah, it's just for this, or it's just for that, oh, it's just them running away from actual content, it's just a layover period, blah, 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 blah. And sure, there's truth in all those statements, but at the end of the day, them giving you some gameplay buffs that are fun is never a negative thing. It's never a bad thing, at least not in my opinion, because it's fun, it's very temporarily, and everyone can interact with it. If you're members, of course, but then again, why would you play this game if you're not a members? But that's just kind of my point of view. I just wanted to discuss it and have a little discussion with you guys. And I'm really curious to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy this video, consider giving it a like. It is always highly appreciated. Subscribe if you're new. And at this point, we're hopefully at 5K already. So thank you, but that will come in a future video. And my name's Chivalric. I'll see you guys in my next video.